We've all been there before. You sit down to watch a movie with your parents. You're just chilling, not picking up on any of the nuances or the general subtext of any of the scenes. Then, out of nowhere, someone says or does something in the movie that makes your previously unresponsive parents laugh or even get emotional. Fast forward a couple years and now you are an adult with a job, responsibilities, emotional baggage that is so buried within your subconscious that it lies beyond your waking comprehension. Then it hits you. You're rewatching a childhood classic, either for fun or perhaps to introduce your own children to it, and you finally understand what your parents were reacting to. You begin to hear the lewd jokes, understand the undermined trauma of the side character. Perhaps you even begin to sympathize with the antagonist because his motivations are understandable. This brings us to the topic of this particular video. Ken from the Bee Movie, a character who I believe has the most valid Crashout in all of cinema history. Let me explain. Ken's life gets upended and his girlfriend leaves him for a fucking bee. Literally a bug. A bug who, mind you, is suing the entire human race, which includes Vanessa, who is helping him do it. This is the backstory and the motivation of all of Ken's actions. They try so hard to make Ken seem like an unreasonable and violent idiot, but he is actually the most sane individual in the entire movie. Every reaction and direct action that he takes makes perfect logical sense given the absurd circumstances. He's allergic to bees, so he tries to kill the bee. His girlfriend asks him if the bee's life has any less value than his. He's completely befuddled, understandably. What a weird thing to say to a human about a bug. His girlfriend helps the sentient talking bee, who may or may not be an alien or a government experiment, sue the entire human race. His flabbers are gasted. He sees the bee flirting and lusting after his girlfriend, and now she's beginning to spend more time with this talking bug than she does with him. His girlfriend once again defends the talking bug and says that he's the nicest bee she's met in a long time, to which Ken basically says, "What the fuck? Are there other bugs in your life?" Which is a perfectly reasonable thing to ask when she says it's the nicest bee she's met in a long time. What else are you supposed to take from that? Which, by the way, we just have to take a little side tangent here about Vanessa, who is basically insane. Bear in mind, she basically ruins her life, Ken's, their friends, and all of humanity's lives for a talking bug who will live no longer than 4 to 6 weeks. That's not even considering
This isn't about her little
which is illegal in 49 out of the 50 states. Where is it legal? Oh. I would argue that the true antagonist of this movie is Vanessa, or at the very least, she's an accomplice in what could be considered the potential genocide of all living things. Because the pollination crisis, which Barry and his lawsuit causes, affects every living thing, from worms all the way up to human beings. The entire planet is at risk of dying because Barry had some crazy idea to sue the human race because they were using the resources that were in excess of what the bees actually needed. And the worst part about it is at the end, when they open up their little animal rights legal practice, now they're gonna do this with all kinds of things. In the movie, it shows us a cow. What, are we gonna sue humans because we drink milk? That's insane. You can't run the world this way. They basically want to create a bureaucratic nanny state where the animals get to sue humanity. And by the way, what are the animals gonna do with the things they get from the lawsuits? Because presumably some money is involved. What do animals do with money? What are they gonna do, just not be milked? They're gonna not give away their honey? It's insane. They gain literally nothing from this, and yet this is what the entire movie revolves around. And by the way, Barry and Vanessa also commit several crimes along the way, not the least of which being piloting an aircraft without a license, which is a federal crime. And that's just one thing that they do. These are the people that the movie are trying to tell you are the heroes, the protagonists. And then it tries to demonize someone like Ken, who's just a regular dude who's like, what the fuck is going on? But despite all of this, when Vanessa asks Ken to leave, do you want to know what he does? He leaves. She tells him no and to leave, and he takes her at her word and he goes. Now, if I was Ken, I would have just left the very minute she chose the bee over me. I would just been like, nope, I'm noping out. And you want to know what the best part of all this is? When the talking bee inevitably dies and leaves Vanessa behind to run their animal rights legal practice, which Barry was primarily responsible for, she will have nothing. No boyfriend, no friends, hell, probably not even her family at this point, given how batshit insane she is. You want to know who will have all these things? Friends, family, and the hope of a better future? Ken. That's who.